Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
It is episode 97 of the Say Hey podcast, part of the Believe Podcast Network. I am Doug Hayes. It is March 6th, 2023. Bringing in my co-host back off his one episode hiatus. Say hey, Rob. Welcome back, brother. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? Missed you. Missed the pod. Missed talking about our Giants. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to our boy, Brooks Knudsen. Say hey, Brooks. Fellow fan. Fellow consumer of great beers. He did a great job. That was a great episode you guys did.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I regret to announce that my number one, you got to watch the spring training, just got reassigned. So R.I.P. Colton Welker. You know, hopefully you come back one day.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of spring training, Rob and I are going to go into many details right now of what we've been able to see this spring. And so that's it. That's our recap of what we see this week. The spring. It's, here's the thing. I'll say this before we get into our topics tonight. It's been frustrating because, I'll be honest, like every year on average, like I don't watch a ton of spring training games, but I'll watch, 5 or 6 throughout March or, starts of February throughout March. But dude, like they haven't been on television once, so we can't watch it. And I think first we both have jobs, so it's it's hard to really follow because a lot of them are day games, understandably, down in Arizona. So it's not like we can tune into KNBR. And like to be honest, I love John Miller, I love Dave Fleming. I'm not truly interested in listening to spring training on the radio. I'd rather watch the young guys and the guys trying to cement jobs. Like I'd rather watch it on television. And the Giants aren't on TV until this Wednesday, March 8th, and it's they're playing an exhibition against Team USA, who's preferring for the WBC. So it's been frustrating to follow. So I'll check the box scores and stuff and see who's playing well, but we can't come on here and be like, well, and we're Joey Bart guys. I'm just using him as an example, but it's like, oh, well, Joey Bart, he's like, per se, he's 7 for 15. Like he looks great down there from what I've seen. It's like, well, what have we seen? We don't know. Maybe he's putting little crappy balls into the grass and they're just falling. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to like assess without really seeing anything. So, I want to see more, but we can't.
Yeah. Wednesday, like you said, it's our first chance to really watch them. And they're not even playing a real team. So it's like, whatever. But yeah, spring training never been a big deal to me, especially with this team in particular. A lot of veteran guys, a lot of dudes on 1-year deals. Like these guys don't really care. Just don't get hurt. That's the main thing. Don't get hurt. Don't be using up those IL stints before the season starts. Save them. But I mean, by all accounts, dudes are hitting the ball. A lot of high scoring games. Obviously, that's what spring training is.
That's the norm.
Yeah. That's the norm. You got guys out there who are specifically told, all right, go out there and just work on this pitch. And whether you get shelled or not, we're keeping you out there. So yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into it. What they've won 2 or 3 games, whatever. Remember in Major League 2, the Indians went like 3-23 in spring training, and they thought nothing of it.
Rob, that's a great point. And, because of that, our 3 and I think 9 San Francisco Giants this spring. Ooh. I think I'm going to go put a little cash on them to win the World Series now. So, hey, 2 things real quick. 1, totally didn't try to, but we're both wearing San Jose Giants hats tonight. Go San Jose.
I just noticed that. Wow.
I know when you were talking. And 2, it's funny that we're mentioning like, it's hard to put merit into spring and blah 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 because we can't watch, and we're coming off an episode where it was 5 players to watch this.
We can't watch them though. That's the problem.
Maybe we should say 5 players to look at in the box score every day.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Hey, no, but hopefully, the fine folks that work with the Giants in NBC Bay Area, I hope they're not trying to hide us from anything. I don't know what this means that we can't watch them. 12 games.
You made a comment the other day in the group that was like, "Oh God, man! I hope this is just him being funny, but maybe there's some truth to it."
Yeah, let's not turn the fans off until season actually starts. But no, yeah, Wednesday I fully plan, if I'm not busy, I will be tuning in to watch that just to see a little Giants ball. I'm sick of watching the Cardinals and the Blue Jays at 10 o'clock at night while I go to sleep. So
thank God, and I know you're watching it right now, and I'm not, but thank God our Sacramento Kings are good this year, my friend. What's the score right now?
I don't know. It was like they were up by 4 a minute ago. So
all right,
it was like 75-71. Go Kangs.
All right, so let's jump into it. What are we doing tonight? We're talking hot takes. What is a hot take per se? A hot take is, in my opinion, something that you throw out there that you may not think is actually going to happen, but like you could see it happening and you kind of want to get on the right side of the fence regarding it. So at the end of the season, when it happens, you're like, I was right. That was my hot take back on March 6th. So we're gonna read some from so back, I think it was January 5th, like literally over 2 months ago. I said, hey, on the next episode, guys, we're gonna read your hot takes for the season. And I kind of realized like it's really early, in early January to be doing hot takes. So a few episodes later, we are going to read some of those tweets from back in early January at the end of the show tonight. So, but we're going to get into our hot takes first. And like I said, Rob and I love doing these lists. And even though Brooks was in for Rob last week, we still got to read Rob's top 5 players to look for this spring. So anyways, we're doing another 5, and we'll really start diving into the season after tonight's episode, but we want to do one more fun episode. So 5 hot takes for 2023. And I'll let Rob go first because I think you have them in a better order than I do. I kind of just did them randomly. I think you did from least important, most important. What'd you do?
No, I just kind of positive to negative.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's kind of all I did. But yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go first, and that's fine.
Let's do it.
All right, mine isn't. It's not a crazy take or anything, but it's just that Logan Webb will be an all-star.
Okay.
He got very close last year, despite not having his best stuff. But this year, plain simple, I think he answers the call and pitches like the true ace of the staff here in 23. And hopefully that means he earns a contract extension by season's end, because I know he and the Giants really want to get that done, or at least he does. So not the hottest takes. I think a lot of us kind of expect that to happen sooner rather than later. But very close last year. I think he gets it this year.
All right. Well, if you're going to go all-star route, I'll start all-star route then. And I'm going to go Camilo Doval will be an all-star. And I'm going with that because obviously there is the MLB requirement that each team has to send at least one representative. So
yes,
we know that the Giants are going to get at least one. Now, this is a team where coming into this offseason, they wanted to get a star. We all know how that went down. So the Giants don't have any stars, but do they have some good players? Yes. But I think Camilo Doval, and I wrote an article on this last week, I believe. I think Camilo Doval has an opportunity to become a great closer this year. 27 saves last year, only blew 3. He's developed that sinker now to go with his fastball and his slider. So he's got 3 different movements. Can throw in the high 90s into the low hundreds. If he can just get some better command, and I think he's going to be not as dependent on because they bring in Taylor Rogers, because they have Scott Alexander now. They have some, back end guys, John Brebbia to protect there. So if they need to give Doval a night off, they can. Plus, I think the Giants are just a little better overall as a team anyways. So more save opportunities. Camilo Doval, National League All-Star in 2023. That's my first hot take.
And one of the Dominican Republic's top pitchers. So look out for that in WBC.
That's right. He is, dude. I will say this. I'm not a huge I follow the World Baseball Classic every 4 years. I think it's great. Like it's fun. Like I don't think it's like stupid at all. I'm not like as into it as I probably should be, but like if the US goes on a run, like I'll definitely stay tuned. But man, I think every freaking WBC, the Dominican team is just so much fun to watch, man. They're up there hacking, trying to hit bombs. They're going to come in throwing hard heat like they all do, like Camilo Valdez. So Dominican team, always fun to watch for sure.
I put a little wager on them today, so now I'm fully invested in the Dominican Republic. So I will be watching
My
WBC.
man.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be, but now I am.
My man. All right, what's your next one? What we got?
All right, my next one will be that Mitch Haniger will hit 30-plus home runs and will become the first Giant to do so since Barry Bonds in 2004. And
God, it's been so long.
It's been so freaking long, and it has to happen. I mean, the guy in 2021 when he was healthy hit 39 at Safeco Field, which is it's not a small park up there in Seattle.
No.
You've been there. It's a nice big yard. He hit 39 there, so if he can stay healthy, I think he can pop out 32 to 33 this year at Oracle. I mean, to me, it just all comes down to health. He's a hell of a player, been through some shit, but I think he can, crack that 30 home run barrier. Just pray for his previously ruptured testicle, and everything is going to be okay.
Hey, I like Mitch Haniger. I'm excited to see it. I just want him, like so many dudes on this team, if they stay healthy, like, maybe we have a surprise good year. So I am excited to see Mitch Haniger. I swear that Rob and I didn't go over any of these with each other because I have a similar one, but it kind of raises it to another level with two other guys. Michael Conforto and Jock Peterson will both hit 30-plus home runs this year. I swear I have that on my list. I know. Now that is a hot take. That's a hot take. So they end the 19-year drought of having a guy that hits 30-plus bombs, and they get two this year with Conforto and Jock, two left-handed power bats. I think Jock's in for a huge year. I think Conforto is healthy. Both of these guys are going to be in the lineup 5 to 6 days a week. They're going to get their opportunities. Give me both of them for 30-plus. Again, hot take, realistic? Probably not, but this is a hot take episode, so that is one of my hot takes.
Now, I got to ask, do you envision them hitting 4-5 in the lineup, 2-3, back-to-back?
They're going to both hit in the top 5 in this lineup. I mean, I could see them both hitting 4 or 5 on a lot of nights.
I can see that.
And, if Jock's hitting well like he did last year and he's, hitting for more than just home runs as well, maybe Jock's hitting in the 3 spot a lot. But they have some other options there as well. And also depends on the guy you just brought up, Mitch Haniger, how well he's doing. There's definitely some pop in this lineup this year. So maybe they can return to their 2021 power numbers. That'd be nice. So, yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
All right. We got.
All right. Number three hot take is that Kyle Harrison makes his debut in August and stays for good. And why do I say that? Mainly because Sean Manaea and Ross Stripling have player opt-outs at the end of the year. Alex Wood is going to be a free agent. Jacob Junis is going to be a free agent. Alex Cobb has a club option at the end of the year. So the Giants are going to have to see what the future looks like here at some point, because there's a lot of uncertainty going into next year's pitching staff. I mean, I think we hope Stripling and Manaea have great years. I mean, I hope. I don't know if they will, but I hope they will. But if they do, they're getting the hell out of here. That's kind of how it
Giants' way. Yeah,
it's the Giants' way. Yeah, and Alex Wood and Jacob Junis, free to do whatever the hell they want. So I think, at some point this year, you got to give the ball to Harrison and let him run with it, and just to see what you got going into next year. And I'll say this: if he comes up before August, things probably aren't going very good.
I was just going to say the opposite. If it takes the Giants until August to see Kyle Harrison, that means guys are staying healthy and they're probably throwing well. So if we see Kyle Harrison in August and we get, 8 to 10 starts out of him, I think that's fantastic. But then, devil's advocate looking at the other end, like, was he not throwing extremely well in Sacramento? But Yeah, no, I look at it that way too. Mainly, if we don't see him until August, that means the rotation is holding up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Kyle Harrison.
yeah, Kyle Harrison. I think everybody's excited to see him come up this year finally. So, well, not finally. I mean, dude's flown through the system.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna do a sandwich here. I'm gonna go because I'm gonna be honest. A little spoiler alert. Out of my 5, 4 of them are like positive ones. I do have one negative one. And I'm going to preface this one with I don't see what other people are seeing. I don't know if they're looking into like advanced analytics or whatever. Cuz I think like not that everybody's saying like the Giants are going to be a really good defensive team, but a lot of them are saying that they're going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it. I don't, even if they're like moving Mike Yastrzemski to center field because maybe he's a better natural fit in center than he is in right. Like the guys they brought in, Mitch Haniger and Michael Conforto, I want to say this right before Brooks jumps my shit for saying, hey, you could have looked this up for free.
He wouldn't do that.
No, I know. Like, I'll say this safely. Conforto and Haniger are not known for their gloves. Okay, let's just say that. Brandon Crawford wasn't fantastic at short last year. I'm hoping he has a bounce back contract year and he's good this year. But looking everywhere else, JD Davis, Wilmer Flores, Tyro Estrada's not really great defensively at all. In fact, I believe he was last in defensive run staves on the team. Lamont Wade is playing some first. Jock Peterson's going to play some first. There's, the only like really good glove is like Casey Schmidt, who we don't know if he's going to get any serious time at third base on the major league club. So,
no.
With all that said, I am going off of what did they have last year? In 2022, the San Francisco Giants made 100 errors, which was the 4th most in baseball and the 3rd most in the National League. I am going out on a limb, hot take. The Giants have the most errors in the National League this year.
Oh man, I got it.
So and factoring in too, look, there's no shift this year. We haven't been able to see anything, so I don't know what they're trying to do, like loophole wise, to work around that. We saw like another team bring in, like the left fielder to play right field, like shallow right field.
I think it's Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, yes. So yeah, we're seeing that, and so I don't know what we're seeing from the Giants yet. I'm looking forward to seeing how Kai Correa and the defense and Gabe Kapler going to work with that. But yeah, I think there's going to be more opportunities, and especially with this Giants rotation that likes to, they're not super into the strikeouts. They're into the get ground balls, keep the ball low, sinker guys, depending a lot on the defense. I don't think the defense improved much. Giants lead the National League in errors.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that at all because, like you said, they were horrible last year, and I kind of felt like they doubled down on it in the offseason. Like they made no real effort to we know our defense sucks, so we're going to do this. No, not really. That
Carlos Correa would have helped.
I mean, yeah, they had Carlos Correa for like a week, but yeah, I mean the Gold Glove shortstop would have helped, but yeah, like you said, maybe Crawford, figures it out a little bit in a contract year, or just I don't know, like he didn't suck on purpose last year. It's just he's getting old, shit happens.
Yeah, he just had a bad year. Like I said, I'm hoping he has a bounce back. Like maybe this is his final year with the Giants and has a above average good year. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, hot take number 4 is that JD Davis gets traded by June.
Oh,
the Giants, which really surprised me, they re-signed Wilmer Flores to a 3-year deal in the offseason. So presumably he'll be the everyday third baseman. He's making $10 million a year, 3 for 30, I believe he got. So he's when healthy, he's going to be the third baseman. And the organization seems hell-bent on Lamont Wade becoming their first baseman, at least against righties.
Where's VR?
David VR, who's expected to get lots of looks against lefties, whether it's at first or third, that, and I hope that's the case, considering VR is one of the few position players on the team who has a little bit of youth on his side, who can ascend and is not at the
Yeah,
back end of and not the back
I want him
end
to
of their,
play.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not at the back end of his prime like pretty much the entire roster is besides him and Joey Bart.
Yeah.
But the fact that Davis brings you nothing to the table defensively, I just think he's a very expendable piece on this team. And by June, I mean, unless they do something I don't want them to do and part ways with VR or dish him, I hope they don't do that. I know Farhan didn't draft him, but
That'd be worth it.
It better be worth it. I mean, you can't send a guy who had 36 home runs in AAA last year back. You know, there's no reason to do that. So
Yeah.
I just don't see where JD Davis really fits on this team. And I mean, yeah, injuries are going to happen, of course, you know, but I don't like predicting injuries, but he's just another right-handed DH on the team. You know, that's where he fits, and the Giants have like four of those. You and I both know that. And plus Jock Peterson, who's basically a left-handed DH. I mean, they have a lot of guys on this team who bring nothing to the table defensively. So I think that works against
full of DHs.
So I really think that works against JD Davis on this team because I think he's just kind of in the way of getting VR, you know, more clean looks. But that being said, maybe Lamont Wade Jr. cannot play first base at all, and they got to throw JD Davis in there or something. Who knows? But I think it's a good possibility that he's gone by June.
Plus, you know, kind of going off what you just said, and I brought him up a few minutes ago. Like, what if Casey Schmidt can actually hit Major League pitching? He is by far and away already the best third base glove in the system.
Right.
And he's young. I think if he's gonna be just an average, even below average hitter, like put his ass to third and let's get a glove. And yeah, I mean, trust me, as much as like you and I think we both, you know, love Wilmer Flores, and what he's done has already exceeded expectations with the Giants. You know, when he came in a couple years ago, it's tough. I mean, he was overused last year. I think that he played in way more games than the Giants wanted him to, and understandably. But yeah, him and Davis and Wade are kind of like in that purgatory of, you know, can hit, but you know, what are they going to provide for you on the field? So it's tough because this team has plenty of guys that can hit, but they're not great defensively, and kind of just all ties back into, you know, my whole NL errors and things. But
exactly.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, presumably you would have Davis or VR, one or the other, at third / first, you know, or vice versa against lefties. Estrada at short, and Flores at second. Is that your line? Is that your line? Seriously though, is that the line against lefties defensively?
I think I'd probably find a way to have Davis at third, VR at second, and Wilmer at first.
Yeah, so some variation of that. Variation.
I mean,
of
you
that.
can do that. You can do this.
Yeah,
but and then I mean, we don't even need to get into the whole backup shortstop situation because Tyro's not great there, dude. So it's gonna be tough. But
it's just hard to see where he fits on this team in the long run. But yeah.
And I mean, we're a couple weeks from season preview, but let's just say, I'll say this: the defense and my lack of confidence in it is what's going to prevent me from thinking the Giants are going to do huge things this year. Okay, so getting back over to me, I'm going to go back into a positive here. Look, I think from what I hear, I didn't see, from what I hear, Anthony DeSclafani looked pretty good the other day. And, you know, this is a deep rotation. He missed all but 5 starts last year, wasn't healthy, didn't look good. Supposedly he's healthy and he looked good. And, you know, we've talked about before, this is a guy that throws in the mid 90s with movement. And when he's healthy, Anthony DeSclafani is a pretty darn good pitcher. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be a nice kind of like added bonus in comparison to last year's team. I'm going to go Anthony DeSclafani finishes with the ERA under 3.25.
Oh,
I think he has that's kind of a mix of a hot take and what I really do believe can happen. If the dude can stay on the mound, Anthony DeSclafani has a great year. 3.25 or lower.
You know, and this is, you know, I'm glad you brought him up because I considered putting him on air too. Something similar to that, but not quite that low. but this is a huge year for him. I mean, he's under contract for 2 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, so he kind of stands out right now, unless you have Alex Cobb, who has a club option worth, I think it's in a $2 million buyout. I believe is what he's looking at if the Giants want to buy him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we talked about with the Kyle Harrison earlier, we don't know what this rotation is going to look like, year to year. That's what happens when you have all these guys on 1-year deals with opt-outs and they kick ass and they get the hell out of town.
Yeah.
So DeSclafani, who actually has another 2 years left on his contract, basically sat last year out, for ankle, shoulder. I mean, I think he had a lot of shit going on and some stuff that we don't really know about.
I agree.
But I mean, yeah, I believe he's only had 1 start so far, and yeah, he looked good. I know he struck out like 34 dudes in 2 innings, I think it was.
Yeah.
So no, he's definitely one to he's definitely a comeback candidate. It's kind of easy to come back when you didn't play at all the year before. But yeah. Sure. Man, if he's under 3.25, look out.
Hey, he was 2 years ago, and it's not like he's it's not like he's in his mid to late 30s. I mean, the guy's still 32, so
yeah,
definitely can have a bounce back year.
Okay. All right.
What do you got?
The last one, man. This can be the one that gets me killed.
Oh boy.
Last hot take is that Farhan gets fired by July.
Oh. Whoa, bro. Explain.
We got opening day approaching, and there's still no traction, or at least no open traction of a contract extension for him. And I truly believe that once the team underachieves again this year, which I kind of think they will, he's going to be the scapegoat for ownership. I hope this doesn't happen, but it's lining up perfectly for that to be the case, because we got to remember one thing. Farhan works for ownership. Ownership doesn't work for Farhan. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been praying for years for Jerry Jones to sell the team. And so you can't do anything about ownership. I don't blame Farhan for a lot of the things that have happened, but there is so much uncertainty and questionable direction with where the franchise is going right now. When you have nothing but a team of guys on 1-year deals, and only 3 if count Kyle Harrison, or 4 if count Casey Schmidt, but not very many young guys 4 years into his campaign that you can even be remotely excited about. And 2 of those guys are Joey Bart and David VR, and he didn't draft them. So it's the questionable direction of where the franchise is going, because honestly, I don't know what the direction of this club is right now.
They're kind of at a crossroads right now.
They're at a big crossroads, and it's very rare for executives, people in an executive position, to go into a final year of a contract, because how can you expect him to run the team, to his best ability when he doesn't know if he's going to be here next year? Do you remember that scene in Moneyball when Art Howe goes up to Billy Beane and he talks about his contract, and this is a manager, but he says it's hard to manage a team when I don't know where I'm going to be next year.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe this is where the Giants are at with Farhan, unless there's different stuff going on behind closed doors that we don't know about. But they kicked around that, oh yeah, well, we think we're going to extend him very soon. They said that back in August. Opening day's right around the corner. And this is just after the Aaron Judge debacle, the Carlos Correa debacle. I truly think ownership is setting him up just to be the fall guy for all this, because at the end of the day, remains to be seen. But the Giants probably did dodge a bullet with Carlos Correa with that long contract and the ankle, but still, they had him basically behind the curtain, dressed up, ready to be introduced, and the Giants backed out on that. Whether that's Farhan's fault or ownership's fault, I think it's ownership's fault, but somebody has to take the fall when it comes to the free agency next winter. And I think Farhan's gonna be that guy. I think ownership fucked it up, but I think that whole debacle really put a real black eye on the Giants organization as a whole. I truly do, when it comes to trying to lure in big time talent. Because he was here, he was ready to go, he was house shopping, and then all of a sudden, well, sorry, dude, we're pulling the plug on this. I don't think it was really Farhan's fault, but I think he has to be the fall guy.
You know, Rob, I wish you would have said, like, hey, mine's going to be a fucking hammer, and we need to finish with that. Because, I mean, like, that's the ultimate hot take right there. You know, besides, like, on the total opposite end, like, that's the total opposite kind of hammer of, like, the Giants are going to win the World Series this year. Like, no, you went there.
Kind of the opposite, but yeah.
I guess I'll go with my last one, which is not as exciting. And I won't spend too much time on it. I think Jock Peterson signs an extension to stay with the Giants before the season ends. I think that on paper, this is not a very exciting team. I'm going to try and spruce it up so I can sound cool like you. I think this is, you know, not a super exciting team. The fans love Jock. Jock's a Bay Area guy who was an all-star last year. He's got bleached, highlighted hair. He hits for a lot of home runs. I think he's going to have a massive year because the shift being gone now. He's got better protection around him in the lineup. I think Jock's going to have a huge year, possible all-star again. And I think he signs a 3-year deal or something before the season's over and remains a Giant. So that's my last one. And I'm sorry that it's not as exciting as Rob firing Farhan in midseason.
Hey, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm saying there's a good chance. But I think it would, you know, going back to Jock Peterson, I think it would be in his best interest to sign an extension here. Like, a good qualifying offer. I mean, 1 year, $20 million for him. I mean, that's more money than I think he's probably ever made right there. So, I mean, because I think it was him and there's one other guy, right? Except for the qualifying offers. I forget who the other guy was. But every other player in baseball declined there except Jock Peterson. I think he was a pitcher, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you too. I don't know why I can't think of him right now.
Neither. Was it like Freddie Peralta or one? I don't fucking know. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I would love for Jock to be here for a couple of years because yeah, I agree with that. Jock's an exciting player, but I think the issue is, you know, there's a lot of Jocks on this team, but he's the most exciting version of a big guy with power who kind of sucks at defense. But Jock is the most exciting. I will give you that, and I hope he stays for a while.
Yep. I agree. All right. So we're going to wrap with kind of what I talked about earlier. Now, back in early January, I said, hey, I want to hear your hot takes on Twitter. And we got a decent response. So I'm going to just go and read through these. And I'll, you know, for those who are viewing us on YouTube, I'm going to show what we got here. There's our freaking agenda. So look, I said, okay, Giants fans, with the majority of free agency done, let's hear your hot takes for 2023. The first response I get is from this asshole himself. And he says, I predict, and that's at Say Hey Rob, of course, on Twitter. I predict the Giants will send me to the hospital due to alcohol poisoning by June. So, you know, if you're under a rock, Rob thinks the Giants are not going to be great this year. And then I responded with, wee. Okay, so the next one, Conforto HIV said, we suck. So, you know, just, I said bold. I like it.
That's not my burner account.
Hey, great bold take there, Conforto guy. Trey Pastor. I like Trey Pastor. Look, hey, this is a guy that is a football player for Cal the last couple years. Entered the transfer portal. Big Giants fan. Comments on my stuff sometimes. So, Trey, good luck this season, man. Wherever you land, hope things go well for you. He says he's going opposite here. Giants sneaking in the wild card and make it to the World Series. We always done better that way anyways. So
okay.
Trey's optimistic, man. I hope you're right, my man.
Let's do that.
I hope you're right. So yeah, Giants are known getting in the wild card and going on from there. So our friend Charlie Baldwin from Britain. Hey, we love Charlie, man. Giants chatter admin. Hope he's doing well. He says the Giants will make the playoffs. That's his hot take. oh, Robert. At Giants 55 on January 5th said the Giants will sign Correa tomorrow.
Wait, did that actually happen?
Anyways, the next one at Giants fan 831 says the Giants make the playoffs and 75% of the fan base is still dissatisfied.
Ooh,
maybe that's a lukewarm take.
Ooh.
Hey, look, if this team makes it to the playoffs,
Oh,
I will not be dissatisfied. They can get swept in the first round, and I'll say, hey, it was a good year. Just get here.
I will be very happy if the Giants
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
Oh, but then he follows up with same guy. Okay, for real. Giants signed Belt for 1 year, and he hits 285, 30 home runs, and 400 OBP. So it's kind of tough because I won't count that one because this one was from 2 months ago. These are 2 months ago, so whatever. SF Giant at Giants Faithful 3. Correa will return to the Giants after the Mets steal falls through. Nope, he's gonna end up with the Twins. At Loco Java Man 1 on Twitter. If everything goes well, 74 wins. Ouch. This guy's sharing your pessimism, my man.
I got him winning more than 74. What the hell?
Jeez. At math_not. Giants praying the minor leaguers come through this time. That's I think he speaks for most of us. Probably right. Yeah. Hey, if VR can stay and stick, if Casey Schmidt can come up, hell, if Kyle Harrison and even like an Elliot Ramos can produce this year, that'd be great. I'm not high on Ramos, you know that, but yeah, man, it would be nice if some of the Giants' young talent could come through for once. So, at DW Frauenfelder, sorry. Without a shift to limit his pull hitting, Yaz slashes 265, 325, and 445 with an OPS plus of 110. If Yaz puts up those numbers, I will be very happy. I have been a big Yaz guy the last few years. I'm starting to kind of pull away. I think we know what Yaz is.
It appears that they want to phase Yaz out a little bit. I could be wrong there. But
we'll see.
It's
a big year for him.
It's a very big year for him. Agreed.
Big year for him. I hope you're right, dude. I hope you're right. David Jollis. Let's see. Okay, so obviously Correa didn't come through. Again, sorry, these are 2 months later. That's on me. Make a trade some point during the season for Corbin Burns, Willie Adames, or Brian Reynolds. So David wants to hit up the NL Central. And,
hey, well, we know that wasn't Brooks.
It wasn't Brooks, no. Corbin Burns, who, if the Brewers do struggle this year, I mean, the guy just one of the better pitchers in the National League, all jokes aside, had to fight for like $700,000 or $800,000 more. And the Brewers didn't want to give it to him. And I believe the Brewers won the arbitration case and he didn't get it. So maybe there's a little animosity there between the club and the player. Don't know. But yeah, God, imagine Corbin Burns coming back to Cali and pitching in that Giants rotation. Shoot.
Yeah, well, and based on his little spring training interview, there's some animosity there, between him and
serious,
ownership. So it was over like $750K. Like it wasn't even a lot of money by baseball standards.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, yeah, $700,000-800,000. So not a ton. I would fight over $800K. I'd fight over $80K.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, all right, last one. Scott Anstead. The Giants, Yaz turns it on. Or I don't know. I think he just meant Yaz turns it on. Tyro increases his average in power, which he had a great year last year offensively. Haniger is the anchor of the team, leads the team in home run and RBIs. Conforto adds length to the lineup. Hitting doubles machine. Jock hitting front and behind, and VR hits 275 with 27 homers and Sable hits. This is a very optimistic tweet there, Scott.
And
I'll tell you what, if all that hits, Scott, your hot take wins the offseason, man.
Yeah, if all that hits, Farhan don't got to worry about ever getting fired. So
that's true. Very true. So I thought it'd be fun to come on here and read our responses, even though it was kind of a while ago. So I apologize about that, but still fun to interact with our listeners and followers. So look, Kevin Cunningham is going to be coming on soon before the season gets going. We love having him on. I think we've had him on twice, and he is just a boatload of knowledge. And I think what I love most about Kevin Cunningham is he's honest, and we do share a lot of beliefs with him, but also he kind of enlightens us on some things that we don't know about. And guy goes to some minor league games regarding the Giants. He follows it to a T. So it's not like he's just reading other things and reading the box scores and throwing up an opinion and seeing if it sticks. This guy actually follows the team and watches, and so definitely excited to have him on soon. So we'll have him back on very soon.
Yeah, a lot can be said for those minor league coverers who actually go and watch the game and are present.
it's a huge year for the Giants farm system. I mean, the Giants need some guys to finally break through, and it needs to happen like now. So, and if it doesn't, yeah, maybe we're looking at your hot take, because this is Farhan's 5th year with the club, so he's had 5 drafts, and some guys have stuck, but nobody's, some guys have looked good in the lower levels, but some, nobody's really got to like Sacramento outside of Kyle Harrison, which is a Farhan pick. And but we haven't seen him in the big club yet, so we'll see, man. Definitely a big year for the system.
They're just prospects until further notice.
That is correct. So thanks for joining us. Want to check us out? You can go to BLEAV, that's believe.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube, and make sure that you're joined up on Giants Chatter on Facebook, of course, because things are about to start heating up in there, and we love interacting with everyone. So for episode 97, for Say Hey Doug, Say Hey Rob, until next time, thanks for listening to our Hot Takes episode. Go Giants.
Go Giants.
Say hey, say who, say Willie, say hey, say who, swinging at the plate, say hey.